Vink to throw first, being the higher seed.
Oh, it's ugly.
Yeah, that was
3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Not your garden variety split.
It's not the best of frames when you've only got 2 in this bowling tiebreaker.
That's it.
Oh! Thought he had it, actually.
That's great effort there. He had to try to get the ball right of the 3-pin and slide it over into the 4-7. He just doesn't catch quite enough of it. What a teaser that is.
So he scores 8 in the first extra frame. We're playing a couple. Boy. Neither bowler really taking command.
Ball patterns changing with every shot thrown. And that same ball that worked just a few frames ago, it's a little weak down lane now. But he can take the early lead with a spare here.
And he does. Picks up the spare. Douglas Yu. Oh my. Oh gee.
That's got the players scratching their heads going, what happened, man? I mean, that ball turned over down the lane just a few frames ago, and now all of a sudden, nothing.
So let's set this up now. This is a difficult shot here. Yes. Oh, and he got it. Oh, not so difficult at all. How good is this?
Well, just when he needed it most, he pulled out his A game here and covered the 1-3-6-7 washout.
When it looked like it would just open up totally for Ray Vervink. And the 9 count.
Well, Ray Vervink needs a double and 8 to win by 1. Anything less, Douglas Yu moves on.
Well, he did get a strike in the 10th frame. Has he got one here? No, he does not. And Douglas Yu is going to take out the number 3 seed, Ray Vervink. We have lost the 1st seed, Sean Patterson. We lost the 2nd seed, David Simar. We've now lost the 3rd seed, Ray Vervink. And interestingly enough, again, and I don't think it's too much to point out, all of them throw that hook ball, and all of them are losers. So Douglas Yu on a roll-off advances, and he'll wait to see if he plays Terry Krawick or Conrad Merker when we come back. So who is it going to be? Who will face Douglas Yu to become our 3rd rung on the championship ladder? Will it be Terry Krawick from St. Catharines or Brantford, Ontario's Conrad Merker? Certainly not much to choose between the 2 bowlers here in this 2nd game of week 7. Terry Krawiec, though, had that open to start, and that's really the difference, as they've all put up spares since then. Conrad Merker from Brantford with the lead here as we play in 4. And we have our first strike. Long time coming.
Well, you knew this had to be a good shot because, well, number one, it finishes dead flush right in between the 1 and 3, but he really posted that shot up nicely.
Hurry.
Got it. Yes, he does. Now, let's talk a little bit about Terry Krawiec of St. Catharines. And, you know, he was the #1 qualifier. If you're joining us for the first time, 106 bowlers attempted to qualify. They played an 8-game series. And after that 8-game series, in the field of 24, he was the #1 bowler, had an 8-game total of 1787. And then he stumbled a little bit and is down now to number 6 seed here. This throw of his, this delivery of his, I mean, he really pitches it down the lane.
Could have stolen.
Yeah, he's looking to steal a Brooklyn strike there and double up, but
Slow down.
just got a little fast, caused him to yank it. When you get fast, the ball tends to get to the bottom of the swing too soon, and when that happens, it's almost always going to go left for a right-hander.
Now, pitching it down the lane like that and getting so much loft on the ball, I mean, I've heard different contrasting thoughts. First of all, if you can blade the ball down, maybe you can control it a little bit more. When you throw it down, yeah, you certainly will get that loft and get it there a little sooner, but you don't have that quite the control. Am I right?
Well, the rule of thumb is the ball can't hook if it's in the air. So the loft, what it does, if anything, is it delays hook.
Okay.
But it also eliminates the front part of the lane. What? We weren't worried up here, were we? Vic, you?
No,
me? Nah.
Just tickled it.
Yeah.
So you don't mind him, for example, with that kind of loft. I mean, compared to Merker now, who just lays it down.
And lays it down for the 3-6, 7-10. There's a great player from Finland on the professional bowlers tour. His name is Mika Koivuniemi. Mika lofts every shot. And he's one of the most talented players you'll ever see. So, again, that loft is a huge advantage when you're trying to clear the front part of the lane. You're trying to clean the front part of the lane up. Right now, the issue is more with the back part of the lane and not so much the front.
We've talked over the weeks about inopportune timing, mistakes, opens, and that one for Conrad Merker comes in 5. And so he sits now with 85 through 5. And it is Terry Krawiec with the spare up and advantage. So listen, I'm going to put you on the spot here because there are going to be people who are watching this for the first time, maybe are recreational bowlers at best, and I'm going to equate it to golf and reading a green, an oil pattern. And we quite often say, deal with it if you're reading a green. Greens are tough. Deal with it. They're spike marks. Deal with it. Why aren't they dealing with it?
Well, I mean, they are. But, you know, yeah, you have to deal with it. And that dealing with it doesn't mean you always make every putt. Because if that was the case, then the scoring average on the PGA Tour would be quite low. The same thing in bowling. I mean, you can make obviously you have to make the adjustments, you have to make the proper ball choices and the proper lineups to get your ball to the pocket, but then you still have to execute shots. And the tougher the oil pattern gets, the more critical all of those fall into that equation, the more critical everything gets.
So is that what really separates the very, very, very best from the rest?
Without question. The elite players,
yeah,
they're able to duplicate better shots more often.
Boy, oh boy.
They're better spare shooters,
yeah,
and they're better at figuring out a way to get their ball more consistently to the pocket.
Yeah. And an open in 7. Wow. For a 110 total through 7. Well, I'll give you a good example. I mean, that's what I think sometimes is the difference between the guys who are on the PGA Tour, for example, and those who play in the minor tours, including the Canadian Tour. You know, the Canadian Tour player who's trying to make his way up will get the ball from the trap close to the green and still 2-putt, or close to the pin and 2-putt, whereas the PGA player will get out and be able to save himself. Right. There's a difference.
Yeah, I think the winners on the PGA Tour are the ones that putt the best that week because they can all hit it, right?
Yeah. It's being able to save yourself, and there's an open. I mean, these guys right now, Merker and Krawiec, are trying to give this away and give it to each other. We're through 7, 110, 99, both with opens. 3 in a row for Merker.
Yeah, and even though he has 3 opens in a row, he's only down 11.
And Krawiec came in off a 203 as he beat Robert Brace, and now Merker finds his strike ball here in 8.
And again, you know, when there's not a lot of margin for error, you have to somehow find a way to pry it off your hand and make good shots.
No, Merker advanced with a win over Russell Serwetnik. Serwetnik, interestingly enough, what a survivor. He could have been kicked off the island in the first week, but he survived and is one of our qualifiers, and he's got a rung on the ladder.
Yeah, he's guaranteed himself a spot in the stepladder finals. Terry Krawiec staying with the ball he started with. Still dancing with the one he brung. And he has not found the pocket in 4 frames.
Now he got the back pin. He got the 8 for the spare in 8. So you said right from week 1, you got to make your change, be decisive. If you're Terry now, is it time for the change or is it too late? Is he being stubborn here or does he just believe? He's changed.
You're starting to scare me with that kind of stuff. You got a crystal ball? You knew he was going to a new ball, didn't you?
No, I didn't, actually. I just wondered why he hadn't before.
But that's a great call.
And at least he came close this time.
Pocket hit, right? Solid 9-pin, small adjustment off of that. But what we've seen, the trend has been with the oil pushing down towards the pins on this oil pattern. You have to change bowling balls. You have to change equipment. You have to go from something that's not quite as strong to something much stronger towards the end of the game. And that's exactly what he did there. You called it, Vic.
But is it too late for him?
Absolutely not. I mean, he's still leading in the match, even though Conrad has got a strike up in the 8th frame. Terry's only shooting 169 with a spare here. But he still has a small lead.
And he'll pick up the spare.
There's your good.
He's at 169. Conrad Merker 159. But he's working on a strike. He needs a big double right here in the 9th frame.
Oh, he's got it.
What a great shot.
Yeah. That's the first double we've seen from either player, and it comes here in the 8th and 9th from Conrad Merker.
2 more in the